Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Jessica Blum here, joining you live from the 1011 streaming studio on this Wednesday, October 29th. We are just a couple days away from Halloween, and we've been dealing with a lot of wind. You may have noticed overnight some gusty winds picking up into this morning. Those winds are going to be slow to ease throughout the day today, but we are looking dry in the forecast in the days going ahead. So we're going to start out here this morning looking at your weather almanac from yesterday. Temperatures did get into the 50s, a high temperature in the Lincoln area of 52 degrees. It wasn't all that high. We may have seen that really in the morning hours before the rain was slow to kind of dissipate throughout the afternoon and then depart us for the evening, and a beautiful sunset we really had last night. A low temperature of just 47 degrees. There wasn't a lot of temperature variation throughout the day because of the cloud cover and the soaking morning we really had that led to over 3/10 of an inch at the Lincoln Airport. I did check for the month. We are just a little below average still heading into the end of October, so we'll likely stay there without any extra precipitation expected over the next couple of days, last few days of October. Records at this time of the year still in the 80s. Look at those record lows for yesterday, set back in 1925, down to 10 degrees. And I'm going to show you double digits and single digits, even common across western Nebraska here this morning. So we're going to show you that. But talking about the rain from yesterday, over the last 48 hours, you'll see widespread rain amounts of at least 1/10 of an inch in southwest, central, and southeastern Nebraska. Again, Lincoln over the last 48 hours, seeing a little bit more than just yesterday at 3/500ths of an inch. Omaha, over a half an inch of rainfall yesterday as the rain sat over them for a little bit longer yesterday afternoon into the evening hours. But a good 1600ths in Lexington, 1400ths in Kearney, and a good quarter of an inch in Grand Island. Wanted to show you the peak wind gusts so far for the day today. Past midnight, they've been peaking around 40 to 45 miles per hour in far eastern Nebraska from Lincoln on east. These have been some howling winds overnight, kind of knocking some things around. Maybe you heard, I was talking to my friend really last night, and she was like, oh, these northerly winds at this time of the year are the bone chilling type that you really start to feel the colder air and help temperatures really plummet and or at least keep cooler at this time of the year as well underneath some of the clouds yesterday. Low temperatures so far this morning, you are looking at that right. Alliance down to 8 degrees. Bone chilling there in terms of the temperatures. Some teens surrounding Alliance in Scottsbluff, Chadron, and Sidney. Central Nebraska, 20 and 30 with some winds. Still felt pretty cold, and even the 40s here in Lincoln, a low of 42 degrees. Felt pretty chilly with, again, some of those blustery winds out of the north so far early today. Wanted to show you some more low temperatures across the Lincoln Metro. A lot of us falling down to about 41 or 42 degrees. Looking at our Tempest stations, but you'll notice the clouds are starting to thin out here in Lincoln. Again, we did see a little peak of sunshine yesterday evening. That was nice. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these fall colors that I think are peaking at this time of the year with some of the sunshine. So they should be bright and a sight to see really around town. Grand Island areas west too, as you look further west from Grand Island toward North Platte, seeing a lot of sunshine for the day today. And Omaha still blanketed by some cloud cover at this point. But a beautiful scene here in Lincoln, looking toward downtown. The 1011 studio and at the airport both reading 42 degrees. But it does feel almost 10 degrees cooler. That wind chill will be a factor throughout the day today, making it so those apparent temperatures aren't actually going to really be what it feels like with those winds slow to ease throughout the day for your Wednesday. In fact, the winds right now at the airport are around 22 miles per hour sustained, with some occasional wind gusts upwards of 35, if not 40 miles per hour still this morning. So as of 9:15, you can see eastern Nebraska still seeing windy conditions, namely here in southeastern Nebraska with sustained winds up around 20, 22 miles per hour. Those wind gusts, again, are slow to ease throughout the day today. Right now, still around 25 to 30 miles per hour, occasionally up to 35, 40 miles per hour. And I wanted to show you, again, the feels like temperature here this morning as we're starting out with some of the wind and those single digits out in western Nebraska. It doesn't take too much wind to make it feel colder. It feels like 4 degrees is all in Alliance. And they're usually the ones that show off a little bit, but it does almost feel 10 degrees cooler here in Lincoln as we're starting out the middle of this Halloween week. we are set to get a little warmer, especially into tomorrow, and I'll show you that here in a second. The actual temperatures, it is up to 12 degrees in Alliance now, 16 in Scotts Bluff. We're up to, again, 42 here in Lincoln, 44 in Nebraska City, 41 down in Hebron, with the clouds thinning out. Just a few lingering clouds in far eastern Nebraska along the Missouri River, and then there are a few more clouds entering in from the north to the northwest corner of the state, but a lot of sunshine to be seen in the midsections of Nebraska. So we'll take you through time here. Again, maybe a few sprinkles seen early this morning. Not too much expected in the way of precipitation. Really nothing measurable for the rest of the day today. And then those clouds continue to thin out by this evening and tonight, which will help temperatures fall like a rock into tomorrow morning. You'll see maybe a few high clouds passing overnight, and then by the time we're waking up on Thursday, some more partly cloudy conditions, especially for those north of I-80 by the mid-morning hours. Now let's take you hour by hour. I've talked about these winds slow to ease throughout the day today. Those wind gusts up around 30 to 35 miles per hour here mid to late morning, and then by the afternoon continuing to diminish, and especially by tonight we'll feel and experience those calmer conditions. And then throughout the day on Thursday, the winds will start to pick up a little bit more, again behind another front moving through. It should be a dry type of cold front, not expected to bring any precipitation, but it will bring those wind gusts up a little higher, especially for central and especially western Nebraska. So again, for the day today, the feels like temperature, the wind chill is going to be really a factor, especially in the morning and maybe early afternoon hours. It'll still feel like the lower 40s by 1 o'clock. Then the afternoon, as those winds are easing up a little bit more, the temperature will feel closer to the actual temperature in the lower 50s. Tomorrow, or this evening into tomorrow morning, we'll likely have a wind chill in the 30s and maybe even the 20s. But the winds will be a lot calmer, so there wouldn't be too much wind to add to what temperatures will be pretty cold tomorrow morning as well. But high temperatures for Wednesday will run in the lower 50s. So if you notice from the beginning of our live stream, we had high temperatures in the lower 50s yesterday, but again, that was in the morning time frame, and temperatures slipped a little bit through the day today. We'll likely get back to those lower 50s by this afternoon for another cooler day, below average. Average temperatures at this time of the year are still around 60 degrees, and into next week we'll fall into the 50s for those average temperatures, but next week does look a little warmer. It doesn't take much to get a little warmer than average at this time of the year, but we do look to get that back with drier and sunny conditions for a while here setting up. But with the zoo tonight, looks a lot better than last night with those winds picking up. Winds will be, again, dying down by this time, especially as the sun goes down. And as the sun goes down, those temperatures will slip into the 40s for trick-or-treaters. Now, lows tonight, I'll namely point out that a lot of 20s are going to be widespread, middle and upper 20s for central and eastern Nebraska, maybe a little warmer toward the Missouri River, and out in the Panhandle in the lower 30s. So some may touch on freezing again tonight, but for a lot of us where we do have a freeze watch, if not a freeze warning in effect, we're expecting a bit more widespread freeze conditions to set up for a little bit longer than we've seen so far this season. So a freeze watch will be in effect late tonight through tomorrow morning, about 8 a.m. Thursday morning, as temperatures could drop below freezing for several hours. We do have a freeze warning in place for southwestern Nebraska, so as you see that freeze watch for south central and southeast Nebraska, that's likely leaning toward a freeze warning, and we'll see that update likely later today. But for now, those are the latest freeze headlines that we have in southern Nebraska. Then high temperatures tomorrow after the cold morning do warm up, closer to 60 degrees here in the capital city and surrounding areas, and even along I-80 as you look toward Kearney and Lexington. So it'll be nice to warm up a little bit more with some sunshine to end this week. Low temperatures into Halloween morning will be just a little bit warmer, kind of touch and go with the freezing mark. Temperatures in the 20s in western Nebraska. And then the forecasted highs for Halloween do slip a little bit. Again, a front and a dry front that will be moving through the state on Thursday. So we'll see a colder air mass kind of replace really what we've seen so far for Thursday afternoon, for Friday afternoon, and temperatures will slip again into the 40s and 50s. Talking about your 7-day forecast, we are going to be even a little cooler yet into Husker game day, but that game isn't until the evening, so factor in the evening time frame and the sun being down. That will be another almost chilly kind of game time condition to be aware of, but 60s into next week and really the end of this weekend into next week, so we'll be above average with more sunshine, and again, no precipitation really to be seen I will point out to you, other than tomorrow morning dropping into the upper 20s, lower 30s are going to be pretty common for morning temperatures, other than maybe Sunday night into early Monday morning. But again, drier conditions, slow to ease in terms of some of those winds coming up here. But we have looked at your forecast from the 1011 Severe Weather Center. In the meantime, you can always get the latest hour by hour forecast, radar, and alerts anytime in the 1011 weather app or online. Thank you for watching.